going to keep my talk fairly brief. Jared touched on a lot of the traditional knowledge points. I'm Eric Fields. I'm ecosystem manager with Dan Schab Enterprises. We worked with the Windsor-Essex Parkway, or Grade Parkway down in Windsor on the implementation phase. So we're kind of representing implementation, hands-on transplanting activities, and reintroduction of dense blazing star into some conservation areas and things. So, but outside of the technical side of what happened, I wanted to focus a little bit on the stewardship and innovation side, because a lot of what's been done on the Parkway with help of MTO and AMEC has been extremely innovative. The adaptive management clause in the permits allowed us to, really work around a lot of challenging issues and a lot of, things that weren't very cut and dry. And working with the team down there, and of course Dan Schab, our team of nurserymen and restorationists. It's quite a different side of the legislation than policy or planning or anything like that. When you get to the point where you have a permit and management in hand, it's time to get down to work, right? The bickering and the nastiness has been done, and now we need to focus on saving the plants in the best possible way with the best available science. So we are also involved in a small trial at the nursery under Trial 10, I believe, where we took transplants out of the impact zone and were able to store them over the summer and then retransplant them back into restoration sites in the Chappus area. So that was highly successful, and for me personally, it was very interesting to watch the colic root react to the transplant, and then after having settled in and getting rerouted and everything, how it reacted to pollination, how it reacted to different types of water, calcareous water versus low pH. So those things were definitely very eye-opening for the colic root in particular. But as project manager, or as the person implementing the permit and management plan, you're managing crews of potentially 25, 30 people. There's a lot of other stuff that comes into play besides the policy, the permit, and so you have to work with a number of individuals who may not be explicitly involved in species at risk work full time. So you have to do some specific training on identification of willow leaf aster, identification of dense blazing star, these things on a mass scale. I mean, to go out and do a field survey is one thing. You can identify plants and things, but to go out and literally transplant 75,000 willow leaf aster rhizomes intact, it's quite a different story. Pulling them out of buckthorn roots or pulling them out of this or that. So implementation, my personal view, is one of the most important stages, and that's where real results are made. The data that was collected was amazing, and into the future, the results of some of the transplanting, because there was quite a few methods that were used, and we tried to use the permit and the management plan hand in hand and follow them as much as possible in a practical way. But again, implementation, there's a lot of messiness, just like the science. There's a lot of messiness and a lot of things that happen that you need to overcome in order to create a successful project. So, and absolutely, the guys from Walpole Island and my nursery crew are the best in the business by far, because while we were working on stuff, I may have trained them initially, but by the end of the job, having gone through 75,000 individual plants or so, they were training me in a lot of ways, and I'd say, oh no, that's not, yeah, look at this, or so by the end, they were correcting me all the time, showing me new identification techniques for willow leaf aster. One was seeing purple shaded color on mature seeds, which was not on any of the similar aster species. So there are a number of similar asters that can be confused, but by the end, I could easily say that all 30 of the guys were willow leaf experts. So I guess to just finish off, having experienced a project management position with Walpole-based Aboriginal business has been really life-changing, because, I come from, I guess, a more scientific ecological background, but once you allow yourself to take in some of the traditional ecological knowledge and really accept it for what it is, right? Like plants don't look at our degree papers or anything like that, and they can grow just as effective whether it's transplanted by somebody with a degree or without. And I think that the results and the data will really show into the future, because for color crew in particular, we went from not having a whole lot of knowledge about the plant, or propagation or restoration, etc., to really having a quite good understanding of the plant, and having moved, complete meter by meter square pieces of prairie that were, foot and a half thick, with the soils, the mycology, the, microorganisms, everything intact, and basically pieced the puzzle back together in another site. There were some issues with finding, maybe the exact appropriate soil types or things like that, but we were bringing over 1,000 pounds of soil with each of the sods and the associates. So pretty groundbreaking work, I think, and we'll see how it goes. I think, and the results will be found into the future. Thanks.